So that new Melania Trump movie that's getting all this traction on social media, which is good, I'm hoping will do damage control for the toxicity that Charlie Kirk was doing and Erica Kirk was doing. Melania produced it herself. It's all her doing. Yeah, I looked into it. Trump didn't even know about it. But I don't think that he would have a problem with it. I don't. Because I wouldn't have voted for him if I believed what the media said about him. But long before he ran, I never saw him as a misogynist. Always saw him as a strong personality. And I always agreed with him. You know, I don't mind his nicknames and the things he's, because of who he is, that's why I voted for him. So, I mean, if you want to stay in constructs of, I understand that women are not as strong as men usually, and that our physical bodies are different, obviously. But that's it. So all this stuff that shocked me that there were still men like this, that, like the Christian nationalists that want women to be subordinate, and Erica and Charlie Kirk having young women's leadership meetings and letting them know what they should do and get married and submit and be subordinate to your husband, and they try to make it all positive. Oh, the damage they did. Like, my hope is that Melania's movie will do damage control for all that, for the next gen, for younger women. Because I was shocked. Like, before I knew that there was these men like this, I blamed the women's rights movement for a ton of stuff. I did. But that's because they were infiltrated by a bunch of men saying they were women, and they made the women's rights movement trashy. Here's an example. So see, when women go to this place, this is ridiculous. But then I look at this as a result of the masculinity stuff. I just didn't know there were still men that were like that. I mean, I don't think most men are. I mean, I've never sat down and had that discussion with a man. I mean, that I'm below them. However, seeing what Charlie Kirk was saying and Turning Point and Erica Kirk and Mark Driscoll, oh, I thought, this is horrible. So it's because of men like that you get this. Look, most women, no woman, not a normal woman, wants to dominate men, okay? It doesn't want to try to be over them. Nobody should be over anybody. It's simple. It's very simple here. To avoid all of these traps is that you're either identify as a child of God or you don't. So I think it's good that this movie's coming out for younger women, so that it can do damage control. I guess Melania came up with this idea in November of 2024, and she that's when she started thinking about doing it. And it's the 20 days leading to the transition of going back into the White House, and it, I think, starts out with her saying, "Here we go again." And Trump's not really in it, except for that clip they show. And that clip they show, that's what a lot of people are paying attention to, but I don't think it's a dig at him. It's not. It's just showing that she's her own independent woman. And with this damage control that needs to be done, this is needed. Because Trump's the example of healthy masculinity, no matter what the left wants to say. And Melania is an example of healthy femininity. And they're a team. It's very simple. It's a team. It's a partnership. That's how it should be. So I think this is God designed this movie so that, because otherwise the amount of influence Kirk and Turning Point and the damage they did with all these young women and even men, this is necessary. This is God. This is why I said that, look, anything after World War II, a big influencer, a big political person, if they get assassinated, it's because God purged them. I know people don't like hearing that, but it's true. Our nation was founded on Christian values. God supports that clearly, okay? I'm not saying that we need to be Christian nationalists. I've already explained he doesn't want that. He wants us to be open to other religions because he doesn't want people having to go into other countries and be missionaries. Look at what ends up happening. So many people get killed. We were supposed to be the shining city on the hill so that people would want to come here. And then the example isn't trying to, tell people what they should believe, but is more that, they're attracted to your religion because of the way you are, not because of what you tell them. So, God did not want us to be just a Christian nationalist nation. But that's how stupid the Christian nationalist men are. And so Melania is the perfect person, being that she's the first lady, to help do damage control in that area. In my opinion, God pushed her to do it. Because that that and then telling women to venerate Mary, I'm telling you, that was when God was like, done. Because there was just too much damage happening. So you have to remember, even though everybody says no, everybody that has strong faith gets martyred. No, that wasn't what God wanted for the rest of humanity, most especially for this nation. Most especially for this nation after World War II, because he raised us up after World War II. He did. It's obvious that he took England down. And then even though we don't have kings, the representation of the Davidic throne came here, the power of it, okay? And we rapidly were raised up. We didn't just do that all on our own. I know everybody thinks that, but we didn't. It was God designed. So anything after the World War II, most especially, any influential leader or a president, any huge leader in this country, if they get assassinated, God was purging them because their influence was going to cause a disaster. Charlie Kirk's influence was going to cause a disaster. I know people don't like that, but you have to remember something. Apostle John, they could not kill. The reason they couldn't kill him is because he believed in Jesus before Jesus resurrected. That's why he wasn't afraid to stay at the cross with him. Yeah, he was the only one out of all the apostles that actually was, besides Mary Magdalene, but she wasn't one of the 12. But they were the only two that stayed right there while he was nailed to the cross. All the other ones fled, and they were all the ones that were martyred to death. And Jesus told them that they would be. And not that he didn't love them, but what you're to take away from that is what God wants is, I had a living martyr here. That's what I want. Most especially in the nation that was founded on the values that I brought. Do you see what I'm saying? So when they try to push this false revival, and there was already a revival going on, but it has nothing to do with Kirk. You don't want to be having a revival because somebody was assassinated. You don't. You want to be having it because you saw a man on TV have a bullet almost graze the side of his head, Trump, and yet didn't kill him. He turned his head at just the right time. Yeah, because God influenced him to turn his head. Just like when I started seeing 11/11 all the time at the end of 2018, okay, that went on till the fall of 2020, every single day, like without fail, ever. It was never without fail. That was God influencing me to see it over and over again. Same thing, okay? So when you see that, you're seeing God absolutely intervene. When he intervenes and that happens, because he, lets the wicked, because he wants it purged, that's not what you want to take as your reason for, I'm going to follow Jesus. I mean, if it is, okay, whatever works, but it really should be the living martyr. That's the ones that God wanted you to most importantly pay attention to, is the living martyrs.